Now we review the film I Can't Believe It's Not Megan. I mean Subservience. Subservience with Megan Fox. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I believe this is a direct-to-video, possibly direct-to-streaming release of a film called Subservience, which is very similar in an eerie way to the film Afraid, in that it is about AI, only in this one the AI is played by Megan Fox and is hot. And fully anatomically correct. Okay, look, you're not going to make a movie where there's a robot that looks like Megan Fox that's fully anatomically correct that people are not supposed to bang. That's just weird. Who thought of this? This is weird. Anyway, for every 1,000 subscribers I get, I do purchase one of these bracelets from 4Ocean. 4Ocean pulls a pot of trash out of the ocean every time I do that. If you'd be so kind as to comment, like, and subscribe, you'd be doing your part for a better world. Now, we have, this movie is about a family. There is a mother, a father, and 2 children. There's the infant son and the daughter. And mommy is going through some really bad stuff. She needs a heart transplant. In a world where androids, robots that look like people, are so people-like that you can easily confuse them for real people and bang them. So because daddy is got some issues with mommy being in the hospital, he buys a Megan Fox robot to take care of his children. The biggest hole in this movie, the biggest hole in the plot in this movie, is that these things are cheaper than people. Okay? Now, in Alien Romulus, recent movie that you may probably have seen, it dealt with the concept of these machines that from a distance look like people, but you can't bang them. Which, you know, it makes sense. Most of these robots, at least in the iterations of Alien I've seen, tend to be dudes, tend to be not so bangable. I mean, I guess I'm not a connoisseur of dudes, but they've never, well, I guess maybe Guy Pearce is a statement of physical male beauty, but I wouldn't know. But I mean, other than the Winona Ryder one from the fever dream that is Alien 4, or Alien Resurrection, no, not so bangable. But the thing is that if these things are cheaper than people, then why are we using people for anything? We would be using these machines. In this world, apparently, it's cheaper to get a fully functional robot that's stronger than a human being and can work 24/7 than to get a nanny. And no, that's dumb. These things are expensive. They're hard pieces of tech. It's really difficult to make these machines as strong as human beings and this lifelike. All right? There's a lot of tech that goes into these things. So right there, the movie, I mean, basically they're making a Data. And I mean, even Data had his technological issues. So, and there's even a part in this movie where the guy notices that this robot, this android, has a pulse, just like Data. If you remember from Star Trek, Data has a pulse, Data has a respiratory system, and Data can have sex, all right? And why you make a robot that can do that? Obviously, you're weird. I mean, I'm not judging. It's not illegal. There's nothing wrong with that. But somebody made a Data to bang the Data. And in this, they made a Data that looks like Megan Fox. Only it's more of a lure in that, you know, chick just can't even. So yes, as expected, this chick is everything you ever dreamed of, only not. And at some point, her ability to protect her primary user becomes dangerous to non-primary user type people, right? And there's a lot in this particular film about AI taking over. I mean, the guy works for a construction company. They replace his crew with a bunch of robots. And it's like, for some reason, these construction robots have to look like people. I know that in reality, this is a budgetary constraint. It would be difficult to get, robots that don't look like people. You'd have to give them more elaborate makeup. You might have to put gloves on their hands and teach them how to robot around to make things. And there's a lot about the fear that, our jobs are being taken over by robots. And I can tell you this much, I remember back in around the turn of the century, I never actually worked there myself, but there was a loading dock that kept trying to get me to work at. It paid too little. I was working for a company that serviced that contract. And, they turned around and they modernized and they got security cameras and sensors and they got rid of their guard program. Okay? So this is something that has literally happened to me, where jobs have disappeared that were open to me because they were technologically removed. Okay? And yeah, it's a very scary thing in this particular modern world that, these things are happening. But this movie, it's not terrible, but I mean, there is this sudden question, is having sex with this robot the same as, say, using a sex toy? Being the robot has a personality, it has a face, it is unique to itself, but there are ethical questions here. And they're not answered. They're left open, which is a good thing, because we should probably ask ourselves these questions, but I'm just making the statement that if I had myself a Megan Fox robot, it would probably be cleaning in the nude. I mean, or maybe in a bikini or something. Depends on how realistic it is, but I mean, look, you're not making a robot that looks like Megan Fox for reasons we don't understand. If you want a robot to cook and clean and look after the children, you don't want it to look that human. That's weird. And yet there are still people that would be into that. But I mean, again, not judging. But the too human concept is something that's been examined by psychology. Anyway, so to be clear, this movie is rated R, and there's a reasonable amount of sexuality and violence that would make this movie deserving of a light R rating. All right? It's better than Afraid, which is kind of the movie it's competing with or slash going along with. And I mean, if I had the choice of watching one or the other again, I would obviously watch this one because it's a faster paced film with better characters, stronger visuals, and a much more clear and understandable plot. They're essentially the same film, a film about AI and its dangers, but one is simply more compelling than the other. One has more of the things I'm looking for. If you're hoping for a lot of nudity and sexuality, that is not this film. There is a reasonable amount of it, but I mean, it's not a central focus. It is something that is there in the film to exist. It's very much, most of it PG-13 glance shots that, they're not going to titillate, as one might say. So if you're looking for that, that's not in this film. I don't think this film needs that to be a good film. I mean, Megan Fox is hot. You want to see her running around? She's hot. The mom, you see more of her body, really, than Megan Fox. And she's not a bad-looking lady. And I felt that, it was tastefully done in this film. It was not gratuitous in any way. And it did make sense. So, it did fit in well. So this movie, it is the middle of your watch list. I'm going to say maybe even upper middle, particularly if you're a horror geek who loves sci-fi like me. I don't believe it's being released in theaters. I mean, I have a dubious copy of dubious legality, and I have to say, solid enough film. It could have played in theaters. It probably would have gotten panned if it was played in theaters, but it is of a high enough quality to be a B movie in theaters. Anyway, that is just my opinion, and I'd love to hear yours down in the comments below. I, of course, am Richard.
Greetings, humans! Your old pal Randall here again, reminding you to comment, like, and subscribe. You see, I got my bracelets from Ferocian, and I got another medal from the Conqueror. Yeah, look at that, see? See? That's got an Easter Island head on it. Because if you can't afford to go to Easter Island, you can go and walk Easter Island virtually by going to the Conqueror. You could not screw up the environment by traveling to Easter Island. You could just get this, plant 5 trees, and then walk on your own and learn about Easter Island, because I send you postcards. And if you comment, like, and subscribe, you can help the guy that owns this channel buy things like this so he can plant trees, and buy bracelets like this from Ferocian so he can pull trash out of the ocean and make a better world for you. And it isn't going to cost you anything. So don't you have something to say? I mean, shouldn't you in the comments down below say how grateful you are that this man has planted so many trees and pulled so much trash out of the ocean and did all those good things for you? No? Ungrateful human? I should eat your face!